We want to talk about the impact on businesses. A number of Canada's top business leaders have published an open letter calling on all employers to make stopping the spread of COVID-19 their top priority, even if it does have a big impact on their businesses. Goldie Hyder is president and CEO of the Business Council of Canada, one of the leaders who are making that request. He is joining us this morning from Ottawa. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, small business owners, large business owners, you're all asking them to do the same initiatives. Can you outline those for us?
I mean, it's really straightforward, right? We know how this virus behaves, and what we should understand is it's not going to behave differently in Canada just because we're nice people. What we need to be is smart people. The doctor that you just had on prior to me is very, very right. I mean, this is in our control. We can beat this thing because we can act smartly, and that means isolating yourself. That means allowing people from working from home. That means being sensible about not going out for St. Paddy's Day tonight. Stay away from people, do everything we can to mitigate this thing, because then we can get on with the recovery faster.
In the letter, you say it is going to have an economic impact in the short term. We've already seen that. Many small business owners, some we talked to today, have said they've already felt it. But it is essential to weather this storm to win the fight against the virus. What advice do you have for smaller businesses who say, I could go out of business if I try to weather this storm?
Well, look, I mean, it's a short-term pain, long-term gain situation, Anne-Marie. There's no right answer here. What we need is our governments to get going on the announcements that I know are coming this week in terms of exactly how it is that governments are going to be able to help backstop, especially these small businesses that you know, but also these essential services and others who have to be remaining open. And what we're looking for is the details on that plan. We know what other countries are doing. They're eliminating, taxes, delaying their tax payments. They're eliminating payroll taxes in the short run. They're providing businesses a lot more flexibility in terms of the regulatory requirements that they're being forced to adhere to. So we need to act and act fast. I think this is very much a critical period in order to be able to nip this thing sooner rather than later.
Mr. Hyder, just before I get to my next question, I really want Canadians to hear your answer. Can you do me a favor, just a small technical thing? Pull your mic away from the...
There we go. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Perfect way now for me to ask you this question. Governments across the country, although we've seen a unified message from our federal government, different provinces have enacted protocols at different times. What actions do you want to see governments right across the country take in order to not only encourage the stop of the spread of the virus, but also to help out small businesses?
It's a great question, and I think it's one of the challenges of being a federation. We need to act as one like we've never done before. This has to be a moment where all of us are saying the same thing to our citizens, our employees, because this thing, again, doesn't discriminate. It's not like it's going to skip over someone who's being tougher with their rules and go to the ones that's weaker. It's going to hit us all. We need a clear, consistent message from our governments, and I think that hasn't come yet, and I know it's difficult, but I would rather just see the federal government drive this thing and make sure everybody else complies, because it's the only chance we have to slow it down. The data is quite clear on this. Your message to business owners, employers who have not yet had their company enact work from home protocols, whatever province they live in? Yeah, no, we need to be clear, and I think the Premier coming on later here, I expect is going to take it to another level. But what we're having here is almost a drip approach to policy. I understand it's hard in a crisis, but what we need is clear directions, clear leadership, and the plan in particular about how it is that we're going to help people weather this storm, particularly from an economic perspective in terms of their jobs and being able to pay their, for their groceries and so forth. We will get out of this. This will pass, and there's no question that with strong leadership and clear actions, we can do it quicker rather than later. Goldie Hyder, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.